Hello, this is Joshua for Frost Dragon Designs, and today I'd like to talk to you about my marine biology cat, Hard Enamel pin. This pin is part of my More Cats Doing Science collection. The More Cats Doing Science pin collection features more than 35 designs of cats doing science and science-adjacent activities. Now let's get into the design. The marine biologist was one of the earlier designs that I did for More Cats Doing Science. It may have actually been the first one that I did a digital version of, and I think that that's probably the case because something that I'll do oftentimes when I have a new project that I want to be working on is I'll come up with a list of concepts for it, and then I'll try to identify which one I think is going to be the most difficult, the most challenging one for me to execute, and then I try to do that one first. And if I cannot get the one that I think is the most difficult completed to my satisfaction, then I may not do that project. I know that probably sounds a little backward to a lot of you. A lot of you are probably like, well, why not do the easier ones first? That way you know that they're going to work and then work your way up to that hard one. And the reason for that is I do this with a lot of tasks. If I get the difficult task done, the rest of it is easy. The rest of it is all downhill from there. If I confront what is concerning me right in the beginning, I've already slayed that dragon, and I don't have to worry about it for the whole rest of the project. Whereas if I saved those things that I thought were going to be difficult until the end of the project, I might be concerned with or worrying over it the entire time, creating undue stress that I just don't need. So I like to get the things that I identify as difficult out of the way as early as possible. Now, why did I think that this was going to be a difficult concept? Because for whatever reason, I had decided that my marine biologist was going to be wearing scuba gear. And a cat in scuba gear seemed challenging to me at the time. I mean, scuba gear was not designed for cats. Cat anatomy can look a little wonky when you try to do human things with it. And, you know, while I have anthropomorphized the cat some for More Cats Doing Science and for the original Cats Doing Science, they still have normal cat anatomy for their hindquarter. Their legs are not like human legs. They're shaped like cat legs. And that can pose a variety of problems. And my research told me that with scuba gear, you're going to be wearing fins. Makes sense. You're going to want mobility in the water, especially the deeper you go. And I had done some pen sketches, but I just was not convinced that I was going to be able to make a good-looking cat in scuba gear. And I needed to do a lot of research on scuba gear anyway. I'm not a diver, nor do I want to be. And so I wasn't really sure what all equipment was appropriate. But I think my research led me down the right path. And honestly, I think the cat in scuba gear is pretty successful overall. Although I guess the thighs on the cat look a bit wide to me, but I couldn't get that to be different because that's just how they ended up looking. And you know what? I bet a fair amount of divers are like, man, my thighs look wide when I'm in this wetsuit. So, maybe that's just a true to nature experience for this cat. Now, to make sure that it's, in the marine biology wheelhouse, I did want to add an animal that they were interacting with. My first choice was a sea turtle because I often see sea turtles as being kind of the poster animal for, save the oceans kind of stuff, which makes sense. I mean, they eat jellyfish, and unfortunately plastic bags floating in the water kind of look like jellyfish, so there's that as an issue, and then there's, all kinds of other problems that these poor sea turtles encounter. Light pollution, other plastics, chemicals, I can see why they're the poster animal for basically saving our oceans. I was also concerned about drawing a sea turtle, but that went pretty smoothly after I had done some research. If it hadn't worked, I was going to then move on to maybe like a ray fish of some sort. They look pretty fun to draw. And I think my original pen sketch actually did have a ray fish for this design, but that was before I had really put much thought into, what kind of animal I wanted in this design. So overall, the design that I was thinking was going to be the most difficult and most challenging went pretty smoothly after I, did my appropriate research. So anyway, if you've enjoyed watching me design this pin, if you've enjoyed hearing me talk about the things I was thinking about while I was working on this pin, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I try to release, 1 to 2 videos a week, and I would love to have you along for the next one. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your day.